Hello, my name is Frank Camorra from Movida restaurant in Melbourne. Welcome to chefmasterclasses.com. Today I'm going to cook for you a beautiful braised rabbit dish in the southern Spanish style, sweet and sour with raisins and pine nuts, and seriously I think you're going to love it. I've got my pan that's really nice and hot now. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to it, and the idea is make it nice and hot, just a little bit on the smoky side, so we don't have the rabbit stick to the actual pan. So as you can hear, nice sizzle, lightly browned on both sides and seasoned on both sides. Beautiful. Some little baby onions which have been peeled, left whole, which is fine. We're just going to get a little bit of colour in them. And also we've got some beautiful shallots, again peeled but left whole. A little bit of seasoning on the onions, and just a touch of colour is all we need. It's always important to add your herbs early on, so it starts to release the flavours in the dish. So I've got a little bit of fresh bay leaf, which I prefer over the dried. A little bit of beautiful fresh thyme, which I'm just going to pick off the stem there and pop in there as well. And I've got a little bit of rosemary, which you can pull off and chop, or just can leave whole, whatever you prefer. Just a little bit, because they are very powerful herbs. Once I've got a little bit of colour on the onions, I'm going to start adding the liquids to this now. So I've got some dry white wine. Better if you use dry wine, but if all you've got is something a bit more floral, that's fine too. I've got some sherry vinegar here as well, so I'm going to add that to that. That's where the sour part of this dish comes from. Let that bubble up and cook out the alcohol just a little bit, and then we're going to put the rabbit back in there. Not overfilling it, just nice and evenly one layer of rabbit. Now I just need to add some water, just enough to cover the rabbit pieces. When you're making a dish like this where there's so many bones and so many different flavours, to me it's just a waste of good stock. You're going to get so much flavour in that sauce anyway, it would be just pointless to use a good stock in that. Into this dish now goes some lemon peel. Really simple, just peel the lemon. The less pith you've got, the better. Raisins or sultanas, whatever you prefer to use, whatever you've got in the cupboard really, that's fine. And some pine nuts. These are lovely little tiny pine nuts I'm going to sprinkle in. Into here we've got two other ingredients to put in. We've got some sweet sour paprika. So this is smoked paprika and it has a sweet sour element to it. You don't need much, about 1 teaspoon will be plenty, because too much paprika does overpower a lot of dishes, so just enough. And then I've got some sugar, and that's the sweet element of this dish. So we're just going to sprinkle the sugar in there. Sometimes at home I substitute the sugar for honey as well. It's up to you what you prefer, but the sugar you don't need too much, just a couple of tablespoons or so, and that'll give it just a nice sweet edge to balance off the acidity from the vinegar. Mix that all in nicely, and lastly, don't forget the carrots. So I've got a square piece of wax paper that I've cut that fits over this quite nicely. Greaseproof paper helps keep a better seal on the pan, so we're keeping all those flavours, all those ingredients in there, and adds a little bit of extra pressure as well, so it cooks even more evenly. That needs to go into the oven, about 180 degree oven, moderate oven, for about 45 minutes. I'd usually check it after about 40 minutes, because rabbits are always going to be a little bit different. Looks great. Yep, perfect. The meat's just about to come off the bone. There you go, there's my sweet and sour braised rabbit. Smells fantastic.